It has officially been 2 months and a few days since Tekken 8 has come out. And if you've been on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, probably Instagram, TikTok, I don't know, anywhere, you've probably seen all of the dooming going on about Tekken 8. Everybody is so pissed about this game. So, it was a great surprise to tune into the Tekken Talk Live that just happened at the time of recording, literally a few hours ago, where they revealed Eddy, but they opened up the talking about pluggers and rage quitters. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you a big TLDR. It was a 2.5 hour presentation. Let me see if I can condense it as quickly as possible, talk about everything they covered. First things first, the most exciting news. They confirmed that the next update should fix the disconnect rate. That was the number one issue that was enabling all of this plugging. Tekken 7 didn't have this issue because if you kept disconnecting, you would show up with a huge disconnect rate. So if you match made with somebody and it said disconnect rate 20%, you could just decline them. They wouldn't get matches. It de-incentivized rage quitting. If you don't know, basically Tekken 8 always shows 0%. And the servers were collecting the data, the back end of the game, but it wasn't being displayed. So they also talked about it was kind of hard to see who the disconnect offender was. So all things considered, it's about to be fixed. Periodically, I'll be muting to cough. I've been a bit sick lately, so you'll have to forgive me for that. I included the slide here. They just talked about they did another band wave and are fixing the display. All right. They also fixed this throw break bug. So if you didn't know, if you were holding down a punch button and then the throw hits you, it locks you out of using that punch button to break. So I have the game open here. Let me demonstrate it. I have to get out of this Steam window. All right. Now, Reina's going to jab and grab me, and you could break that with a 1 input. Look at my inputs in the top left. I'm hitting 1, right? Standard throw break. If I'm holding 1 and then I try to break, I can't break the throw. So the next update should fix this bug, and that's really exciting because that is new to this Tekken. I think it's a bug. It's not an intended. It's not an intended mechanic. And then he also talked about not in this update, but in a future update, Nakatsu, the gameplay director, wants to make counter hit throws easier to break. So right now, if you get counter hit by a throw, the window shrinks to about 8 frames. It looks like they're going to be looking to change that. And then there's some damage scaling updates that are in the patch notes. By the way, I'm not going to go through the patch notes in this video. That'll be a separate video. But this is all of the Tekken Talk updates aside from that, including some Eddy details. Azucena's while running 3-2 was directly addressed. So I'm going to actually open up the footage here to talk about this. So if the first hit whiffs now, the second hit won't come out. So I miswrote this. The second hit, so it's a knee and then an elbow. The elbow won't come out. So you no longer need to do this sidewalk left duck, just sidestep left. And disregard this, I was wrong about that. So let's just look at this and I'll explain it.
People just had to kind of left sidestep and then duck right, and it was the timing was.
You see what she did here?
Strict on that, but now we've changed it so you just have to evade the first hit.
Running 3, and no elbow comes out. This is what in this current build of the game will happen. The other nerf that they made to this move. The other nerf they made to this move is that instead of 4 active frames, it has 1 active frame. So the knee isn't going to clip you while moving as much. It'll be easier to sidewalk around it. So big nerfs to this move. If you haven't seen it, there's a clip in a Korean top 8 where the Azucena is just spamming this move over and over and over again. It's hilarious. Okay. And yeah, as you can see, I was corrected. It's still +5. It just has 1 less active frame. Next change. This is this is not a change. This is a report of the character usage across all of the online modes. Okay, so I'll zoom in a little bit as much as I can here. I can't zoom in anymore. So this is not just ranked, and this is not sorted by rank. This is every online mode that exists. You notice that Reina shoots from 1st to 4th place, and Dragunov shoots from 4th to 1st. Azucena and Victor are in the top 3, and then we see Feng and Jin also rounding out this top 6. Really strong characters. Lily, surprisingly, jumping from 14th to 7th. And we see Devil Jin shooting up out of the irrelevant lower tier down here. And then notably as well, Steve dropping down, Law dropping down, Brian dropping down, Kazuya from 6th popularity all the way to lower 15th. So a lot of changes here. Even King dropping from 2nd all the way to 12th. A lot of big shifts. This is just reflecting, again, character popularity in general. Here's an update of the roadmap for Tekken 8. So we are looking at this April 2nd update right here. That's the one that the patch notes that you'll see will be about. Evo Japan will happen, and then there'll be a big 4th major update. Before that, before Evo Japan, there'll be like a 3.5 that has a few more patches to certain small moves and damage properties. But the 4th update is going to focus, in the text here you can see, on buffing characters who haven't been able to showcase their uniqueness. They will adjust moves that are too strong, but it's going to be a buff-focused patch. I have mixed feelings about that. I like the idea of, I think the mid-tier right now in Tekken 8 is really fun to fight against. So I think nerfing the top tiers to this level and then buffing the low tiers to the mid-tier level would be great. We'll see how they do it. They've been doing a decent job so far. So I'm looking forward cautiously, optimistically to the changes. Quality of life updates. No contest option for bad connections. So you can like vote to, I guess, like invalidate the match. And this is in all modes, not just ranked. Random stage select indicator. This is for tournaments. So with the new Tekken World Tour rules, every match has to be random select. So for online tournaments, they want to show that the person picked random. So there's no honor system. It just shows for sure that they picked random. And then the Steam version now is a quit button, so you don't have to go to the options menu to quit the game. The big controversial an update, I guess, is the Tekken Battle Pass. It's a standard battle pass, customization titles, character panels, standard and premium tier. If you buy the premium tier, you'll get Tekken coins back. And then they also announced some shop updates. So here's an example. Just about the kinds of cosmetics. Not my favorite. And then this is an example of the new shop update. They have like this cyber pack and new hairstyles and a Yoshimitsu costume. Obviously, everybody's going to be pretty upset about this. If you want my opinion specifically, my hope always is that by taking our money here, they are able to balance things a bit more fairly in terms of like character balance and DLC characters. So my hope is that. Whether it will actually happen or not remains to be seen. That's about it for that one. Eddy. We did a deep dive on Eddy. He will be available in Pacific time on April 4th. But if you bought the Deluxe Edition or Ultimate Edition, he'll be available on April 1st. So early access for the 1-year pass owners. And you could still upgrade to this Deluxe Edition. I don't think you could buy the pass alone. You have to buy the actual Deluxe Edition to get access to Eddy. And now I made a big thread about all the Eddy changes. So we're going to actually go through all of these. Let's take a look. This one's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool. They did a nice deep dive. They had, they had a Eddy expert who has been competing with Eddy for a long time come in and pilot the character next to Nakatsu. So I'm just going to quickly run through all of these examples, keeping it as brief as possible because I know there's a lot here. So let me open this up so you can keep track of what I'm talking about. Actually, that's not necessary because I have the Twitter thread here. So I'm going to go through the Twitter thread, talk about each thing, and show it in the video here. Okay. So first thing, the theme is brand new capoeira. That's like the loose translation of it. He has new animated stances, the handstand and the negativa, or the relaxed stance. And they were designed to have more impact and be easier to defend against, like visually. So first thing, let me turn this down so you not too loud. New move, 3+4. This is a heat engager, little like handstand move, sidekick. It's long range, it's safe on block, -9, and it does chip damage. So they compared it to like a Devil Jin Demon Paw. So pretty strong move. Eddy is going to be a lot more active and neutral, and you'll see that throughout all of these changes. All right, next new move, this one is crazy. The down back 3, mid-range approaching low hatchet kick, like Brian's low. Check this out. This move. +5 on hit.
And so also in mid-range, you're kind of...
So he's long range low that gives him frame advantage. At 26 frames, it looks like. So it remains to be seen if it's reactable or not. Let's see again. 28 frames. So it might be a seeable low. It will depend on the rest of his animations, but 28 frames is within the realm of like seeability. So we will want to get our hands on Eddy and see if the best defenders in the world are going to be reacting to this. I think that's this is going to be a crucial thing to lab. Moving on pretty quickly. Oh wait, do I have to? No, okay, cool. All right. Next thing, Negativa stance or relaxed stance is reanimated. So they called this a priority stance, right? So he has moves that go into Negativa, and it's like his mix-up stance, and it gives him access to his buff system. So it looks like this now. Instead of him sitting down completely, he just takes this like crouching stance right here. All right. And the key move out of this that they show over and over and over again is this hell sweep. It's a low high. It has to clean hit to knock down, and it gives him a buff of, it's called Mandinga, I believe it's called. Portuguese word for magic in the capoeira practice, or like sorcery. We'll talk about the buff later, but other thing to note is that the second hit is minus 13, so not launch punishable, assuming you only block the second hit. I don't think they showed it, or I didn't show it in the clip, but he basically has an approaching low into stance. I think that was the start of this clip here, this forward 3. Yeah. Approaching low into relax, and on counter hit, it has extra properties. I believe I show that here. So Eddy key charges to get counter hit, huge knockdown, and he gets a crouch throw, and it's a heat engager. Pretty cool animation. All right. Next thing, his handstand has also been reanimated. So just making sure you can see everything here. Okay. Handstand has been reanimated. Accessed by 3-3 or by slash kick.
So you take the advantage with that
3-3,
then you hit them with
and then that 1 is a plus frame mid.
So you take the advantage with that LP, then you hit them with those.
So plus 5, I believe it goes into relax.
So you take the advantage with that LP.
Yep, he goes into relax. So they talk about his game flow being use relax to get stacks of your magic, and then go into handstand and to start attacking and mixing people up. That's kind of the game flow of Eddy that they seem to be promoting. That was one example, the 3-3. The next example, oh wait, it comes up next, is he does the slash kick. Look at Eddy on the right, running 3, also goes into handstand like this, and then handstand 1. So look at that, that's a big flowing offense that's actually multiple stances. So running 3, handstand 1 into relax, into the hell sweep. So Eddy's going to be kind of a menace to defend against as a new player, I think. Looking a bit like Hwarang with more evasion. Good luck. I think everybody's going to get bodied by Eddy really early. This early access period is going to be so important for the pros looking to defend against him. Next thing, relax is no longer considered grounded. So in old Tekkens, relax stance, he was lying on the ground. Now he is considered standing. He's considered standing. So that changes the properties both for punishment.
It's actually treated
as you can see here.
Stance. So
Eddy gets a standing punish on him,
actually you have access to
but he's also able to block out of relax. So there are some punishes that won't work at all. Their philosophy is they wanted to streamline the defense against Eddy. Okay. What's next? Next is the install. So this is called, again, Mandinga, Portuguese for magic or sorcery. 2 levels stacking, and the stacks remain until the end of the round. So it's not like the other characters' buffs where you acquire it, do a move, and spend it. Eddy acquires it, and then he can stack up to 2 times, and for the rest of the round, he's just powered up. And it buffs his moves like the frames, the damage, a bunch of other things. So, let's check it out here. This is how it looks like when he acquires it. Some moves just give it to him, kind of like Asuka and Brian and Claudio. There.
So there are 2 levels, so Nakatsu's going to get.
And you can see here that Nakatsu has a 2 here. It's a bit small, sorry. He has a 2 here for 2 stacks. I believe it's Hameko has a 1 for 1 stack. One moment. Excuse me. Okay. So the idea is that once you hit level 2, you focus less on using relax, the Negativa stance, and more on using handstand. So, check this out.
Although you're powered up and you're not
boom. Huge knockdown mid that jumps over lows and crouch jabs and gives +6 on block. So his handstand stance becomes insanely strong once you have the 2 stacks. Best comparison is like Jamie's drinks from Street Fighter. But he can't drink in neutral. He has to hit you with a specific move in order to get the stacks. So that's the difference between him and Jamie. Next slide. This was a cool little note. Handstand is traditionally really weak to crouch jabs. And Michael Murray, in the Tekken community, we usually say dick jab. Like you crouch down and punch their dick. But Michael Murray couldn't say that on the stream, so he's like, I'm trying to come up with a non-vulgar term when he was translating.
Handstand was a bit weak to kind of low, maybe trying to find the non-vulgar term, the crouch, I guess you could say.
Yeah, the crouch jab.
For this one, if you read your opponent doing that, you can then do that mid.
So he's showing that mid kick jumps over crouch jabs. So handstand now has counterplay to its primary weakness, which is crouch jabbing. Huge change for the Eddy mains out there. Next thing I wanted to show, in my tweet thread, I'll link this all below, of course. They talk about some of like the game philosophy and like the design. They talked about like there's a manga with capoeira featured in it, and they were connected to the author. The game designers one of the game designers was a capoeirista himself who was inspired by Tekken 3 Eddy to learn capoeira. Became an employee of Bandai Namco, worked his way up to Harada's team, thanked him for the Eddy portrayal, and now in Tekken 8 is in charge of Eddy's design. And I believe he might have even done the motion capture. So huge kind of glow up from Tekken 3. It's a really cool story. Anyways, they consulted with the manga artist, and there was a lot of cool connection here. That was all that's all about. Next, Eddy has this auto combo structure type thing. So check this out. By hitting 3-3-3-3-3, he basically gets a combo. So the launcher's not 3, I think it's back 3. Or down back 3 plus 4, unless they change the input. But this whole combo basically comes by hitting 3, kind of reminiscent of Tekken 3, where people would just mash buttons when Eddy first came out. You get a nice stylish transition between multiple stances, a nice 61 damage combo, and he gets the magic stance buff. Right, pretty cool. I don't think the optimal combos are going to use this route, so it probably won't matter for high level play. It's definitely going to get people angry on the internet though. His 4 also works similarly, so off of While Rising 4, you can mash 4 a bunch and he does these cartwheels. Again, I think a little callback to how he played in Tekken 3, mashing 3 plus 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, right? Probably really annoying for beginners, especially people first picking up the game, but again, makes sense from a sales standpoint. And hopefully it won't be that competitively destructive. It might just be really annoying for newer players.
So we tried to kind of keep that feeling to it.
But as you can see, he looks pretty overwhelming to defend against. I'm pretty alarmed, and he feels like a souped up Hwoarang that's even more evasive, which is a little scary, to be honest. Let's keep it moving, keep it brisk. Eddy's heat mode. So first we're going to show just his heat smash.
So now that we've covered some of the basics of Eddy, I believe maybe everyone's kind of interested to see what he's
nice little cool animation there. All right, and then he has new moves out of heat. So he has, these inputs might not be correct, because at one point they say QCF, and at one point they say QCB, quarter circle forward and back. But he's 2 new moves that spend meter and instantly put him into stance. So this one is a middle that puts him into handstand at +9? +9? That's like Lars's thing where he has the armored dash. That's crazy. Okay, so free mix-up, but he spends meter. I didn't even see the frames when I watched it at first. So that's insane. Wow, I'm flabbergasted. So that one might be QCB or QCF4. And as you can see, it's also a tornado launcher on hit. So pretty nasty move.
You can follow it up with a combo.
And then he has a second move. I think they're about to demonstrate it here. This one. So again, the inputs are unclear, but this one goes into relax. So one of the moves goes into handstand, the other move goes into relax. This move, if he'll do it again, goes into relax. Let's check the frames. It's also a high kick. So it's a high kick and goes into relax also at +9. Wonderful. So 2 free mix-ups, but again, it spends so much meter, he can only probably do it twice. Kind of like Lars's dash armor stance. And then his heat smash is accessible from all stances. So both from handstand and from relax, he can do his heat smash, which is a nice quality of life thing and makes it pretty scary to fight against a stance character if they can always do their heat smash. The interesting thing is it doesn't seem like it's going to be like June or Reina or Lily, where their stance heat smash changes from like mid or high to low. It might just be the same hit property from what I know. This could all change. They are obviously, we're in a patching meta when it comes to game development now. But as far as I know, the heat smash has the same properties regardless of what stance he does it out of. Okay. Let's look at the next thing. So some changes. So Eddy traditionally in Tekken 7 is a defensive, like keep out movement character, right? So with punishment, he has an insane backdash. He had an insane backdash and would counter hit down forward 2 when you try to run into him. They've completely uprooted that and tried to make him into a more aggressive character. He's completely different, and the changes listed here are reflective of that philosophy. So here, oh, this is his heat smash out of handstand. This is what I've been trying to show. So still a mid, and +6 into relax. But what I was saying was that his strategy is different now. So look at this new counter hit down forward 2. Boom. So it no longer starts a combo. It's just a big knockdown, and it knocks him really far away. So he doesn't. I don't think he gets a mix-up after, or any wake-up games. Pretty surprising. Next one is his. Or I'll just play that one more time, just because it's kind of short. Counter hit down forward 2, big knockdown far away. This is his new up forward 4, a tracking mid that used to knock down.
So what Hameko's trying to say is that like the standard
perhaps they show it here.
In the previous iterations aren't going to get you that much damage this time.
Oh, a few seconds forward. Sorry about that. Here we go. Up forward 4. Does a spin and he goes into relaxed stance. So the opponent is stuck at -12 or something, and then he has to take a mix up. So it used to be a knockdown into a wake up game. Now it's you're still standing, you have to take a mix up. One more time.
Adjust your strategies this time around.
And then they also show his sidestep 3+4. This was a big evasive move Eddy would use to launch if you ran into him. It's no longer a mid. It's now a high. So if you run up and duck, I believe their intention is that you can run up and duck and evade it, or Mishimas can crouch dash and maybe go under it. I believe that's the intent. Dragunov and Fang can do their crouch dash and probably go under it. None of this is confirmed, but that's my guess on why they changed it to a high, so that you could approach him crouching. Maybe Steve can duck in as well, just to beat that. So interesting change. Again, changing the archetype of Eddy from this defensive keep-out character into a more active offensive character with stances. They also nerfed his backdash, so this isn't like a clean backdash cancel they're demonstrating here. I believe I have the wrong timestamp. This is what I'm looking for. So the backdash cancel isn't super clean here, but it looks like it's a more normal backdash. Right, you can see that on the left. He used to have an insane like light speed backdash. It was crazy. The exchange, however, is with that backdash he couldn't really sidestep cleanly. That is no longer the case. Eddy's sidestep is now very viable. He has a normal Tekken sidestep. That's his sidewalk now, and he has a normal sidestep. This is brand new. Since Eddy came into the game, he has not been able to sidestep. So he is a Tekken character more properly, both offensively and defensively. What remains to be seen is how they balance it. Usually when they make a unique character in Tekken, they give him strengths and weaknesses, right? Excessive strength in one area and then toned down in other areas. So he used to have an insane backdash, but he couldn't sidestep. They've clearly tried to level that out by nerfing the backdash and giving him a sidestep. But does that still line up with all of his tools? We'll have to see. But that basically concludes the Eddy rundown. What is this last thing?
So
I didn't take a note on this last thing.
You're gonna want to kind of reevaluate.
Oh, they're just saying, yeah, your strategies are going to change. Okay, cool. So that's the Eddy breakdown. Really quick, really short. Last things they said is Animations were all overhauled and touched up. The animators themselves even tried capoeira a bit to get in touch with the art. And I think that's really cool. I think that's really cool effort that they put into this character. And then they said, check out this full highlight to study up in advance. I did a brief rundown. We got to keep it moving. Okay, pretty good. Now, Tekken World Tour was the last thing they went over. There are now 2 paths to get to the finals. So the global leaderboard still exists. They didn't say how many spots at the top would qualify. They still have to determine that. And I assume that's because of they don't know what venue or how many people they're going to accommodate, how big the event's going to be. But they've also reinstated the regional leaderboards from the COVID era. So there are 15 regions now, and every number 1 spot qualifies for the finals. This is really cool. And I wonder how it's going to work if you're top 1 on the global and in your region. Maybe they pick the second. We'll have to see. But very cool change. We might see a lot more players. I like the idea of seeing more players from different regions. That's a really exciting competition to see. This is the point breakdown. Sorry, it's a little small. But they are picking the top Master Plus placement, 2 Master placements, 3 Challenger placements, and 4 Dojo placements to determine your points. For the regional leaderboard, it's just 6 regional dojos. So hypothetically, the regionals might get really competitive, especially for areas with strong local scenes. These are the master events so far on the schedule. That's Evo Japan, Paradise Game Battle in Ivory Coast, Combo Breaker, Battle Arena Melbourne, all familiar ones. ATL Super Tournament, nice. And I believe they mentioned, here's one in Bolivia, a new one in the Challenger events section. I didn't take a picture, but there's a Challenger event and a few more dojos in Madagascar. So that region's really showing up. Kind of exciting news for the Tekken World Tour. Other positive news, the active users have continued to increase since launch. That's kind of vague, but I assume that's a good thing. And then usually when they announce an update, it leads to a dip in active players, but like usually people waiting for the update. But in the case of Tekken 8, that's not the case. People are still playing the game in between updates. So that's really, really exciting that people are still engaging with the game. Last bits of news, they're still working on an online practice mode. No release date yet, but we're really excited for this, especially for coaching. It makes it way easier. And then they floated fun ideas for dealing with pluggers, like an animation where somebody plugs. They made a demo where 4 NPCs came up and like beat up the character that plugged. They didn't show it on screen, but they talked about it. They said they ultimately axed this idea because it might encourage people to plug just to see the animation. But funny, they're clearly trying. They're trying really hard. I think that I know people are really frustrated with the game right now, but I'm decently happy with the transparency. They've tried to show a lot more detail in this, and they even asked the chat, do you guys like this level of detail? And everybody said yes. So we get a lot of transparency out of these developers. This is not traditional. Think of like Nintendo, okay? Like there's not a lot of transparency with the Smash scene. So I think even though we have disagreements over how things are implemented, they're clearly working on it, fixing the disconnect rate, more band waves. They're looking at these like other issues that for quality of life. I think it's a good thing. I'm really happy with these changes. So we'll look at the patch notes in a separate video. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know if I missed something in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoy this kind of stuff, and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.